And I also told you that to me it felt like it wasn't even worth doing a review of SummerSlam because all the reviews were out.
Yeah.
We kind of knew what everyone thought of that Jimmy Uso turning on his brother Jay.
Yeah.
And we're just thinking, like, what could the explanation be?
Yeah.
Let's wait and hear the explanation because everyone's like, yeah, let's wait and see. Okay, this seems
true.
stupid now, but maybe they got something that they could pull out on us.
Right.
Well, let's jump straight into it, all right? Let's go into that. This is the biggest topic in wrestling, the biggest angle. It's been going on
for years now.
for years now.
Yeah.
And so SummerSlam had tribal combat. It was Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, and Jey Uso had everybody on the ropes, even with all the interference from Solo, and he was still about to win.
Yeah.
And then someone in a mask or a hoodie came in. He had a mask too, I think.
Yeah.
And he came in, and it was Jimmy. And everyone on the internet's, why Jimmy? Why? It didn't make any sense. He was the one that convinced Jay to come with him to turn on Roman and be independent. And all right, so last night on SmackDown, as we're recording on this on August 12th, on August 11th, we got the explanation.
Yes.
They sent Jimmy out there to actually perform that scene.
Yes. To explain why he did what he did. And
give us your feelings about this explanation.
I told you that going in that I didn't think it was going to make sense no matter what he said, because so what he ended up saying basically is that he didn't want Jay to become like Roman and just vindictive and a manipulator and whatnot, right? That was his explanation.
It's kind of what we were all expecting the explanation to be.
He didn't want him. He said it had nothing to do with being jealous of him, but it had something to do with just being, just didn't want him to end up like Roman, basically. I thought it was pretty ridiculous, and pretty dumb, and made no sense. Like, if you actually had those feelings, why would you cost him? Why would you not tell him that before? And why would you cost him the title? And and everything else that goes with that, being the tribal chief. I don't know. It just didn't really make sense to me. Like, there's ways you could have done it without having to cost him everything. I don't know. I mean, I know it's a long-term booking, and they're really set on going with this. But yeah, this was the first time that I felt like, wow, I think that maybe they're running out of ideas, and they're just now like going in circles. Like, oh, I'm going to betray them, and I'm going to stay with him, or whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be proven wrong, but this is the first time I really got that feeling. Like, I don't know if this is still should be the angle. Maybe they should already consider like closing up shop with the Bloodline. But Paul Heyman says that they're still in the early innings of this angle, so I don't know. We'll see.
Well, okay.
But yes, obviously I hated the thing. I hated Jimmy turning on Jay, and the explanation wasn't really satisfactory, as I knew it wouldn't be.
Yeah, no, it was... Okay,
yeah,
I think it's not good. I'm not thrilled with this storyline, personally. I think the one way they could have saved it, which is why I said let's wait for the explanation.
Yeah, what could they have said that would have...
Well, he could have said, I want to be tribal chief.
Right.
And then that would have been fine. Then they could have made it a three-way triple threat for the next pay-per-view. And all three of them will duke it out. That would have been cool to me. I would have accepted that.
Yeah.
But this way, I think it sort of works. I'll tell you how. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not thrilled with it. But the only way I could kind of fathom this working is because in the future, they're going to want the Usos to get back together and have like a little very poignant, nice reunion or something.
Sure.
And Jimmy did this out of the goodness, it was a good idea. Like, it had good intentions. You know what I mean? So it wasn't something like, so Jay's going to be mad at him for a long time, and eventually people are going to be like, all right, just forgive him, man. I mean, he didn't really, do anything malicious, really, but, he made a mistake. Jimmy made a mistake, okay? And he's probably this is going to be the story. Like, so I could see them working with this angle and making something out of it, but I'm not thrilled with it. I don't think it was the best thing to do. Because, yes, he was the one who initially turned on Roman.
Right.
So he should have like supported Jay no matter what to become to at least oust Roman. But I don't know. It was a thin explanation, but okay.
I mean, yeah, that's probably the best way of saying it. It was pretty thin, and I don't know if it made a lot of sense, and we just have to go with it. But I hope they prove me wrong, because I obviously I've enjoyed it for all these years. But I think it's come to a point where maybe they're running out of ideas.
Yeah. So I'll just, since we're the Malapert Smarks and we're here criticizing, that's what we're supposed to do here. By the way, I'll remind the audience, since some of you might not have been listening to us, Malapert Smarks are Smarks is a wrestling term.
Yeah.
We know the show's fake, I guess, and we're not gonna talk about it like it's real. We're gonna sell out the business, okay? But a Malapert is someone who is disrespectful to someone who is more experienced, someone who is an elder. We've obviously never been in the wrestling business. We're just two dope fans, and we're gonna criticize this. And this is yet another thing in WWE this year that is very criticizable. Extremely criticizable. Starting with the World Heavyweight title split off.
Oh, yeah.
That everyone's like, I'm not gonna let them forget that. I'm not just gonna let it slip by and be like, all right, well now let's accept it as part of what it is. No, that's horrible. And we're gonna keep saying it's horrible until they get rid of it and reunite the titles, which they probably will, I guess, at some point.
You would think.
Years down the line. It's like a.
It's another circle thing where it goes in circles. They have two champions and they have one. Then they have two. They have one. It depends on it. Whatever. I don't know what it's dependent on, but yeah.
So every time we say WWE is pulling away from AEW, they do something stupid to kind of help even the score a little bit.
Well, sort of, yeah. I mean, yes, I guess in a sense. I still think they're better, but yes, of course, I think that they do have their own issues, of course. That goes without saying.
Well, alright, since that didn't turn out to be so good and that was bunk, let's not spend any more time on it. Let's move on. We got a whole week of wrestling to discuss. So,